everyone. How is everybody doing? Welcome. We are officially live. Hola, all my friends, all my amigos. I can't believe we've made it. We're back for another week. Today's International Women's Day, and we are celebrating. It's super exciting for me. Welcome to the show, and I hope everyone is doing fantastic. Get comfy. I'm really excited for today's conversation with someone that's very near and dear to my heart. So welcome to my Mayhem Streamcast. Everybody go ahead and get in here and start sharing your comments. I'm excited. It's very exciting. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. I'm your host for tonight's conversation. I'm here every Monday night with a new guest. I want this platform to be an individual for everyone to come and share their powerful stories, to destigmatize and normalize mental health, disability, and traumatic experiences that many of us share. This is a place to share our mayhem. We want to create opportunities. We want to connect and be a voice to break those stigmas and stereotypes. So each guest that comes, we want to share their experience with the mayhem that deserves to be known. I always add a trigger warning, and I encourage discretion as we discuss things that can be difficult and mature in nature. So welcome, friends. I'm so excited. Happy International Women's Day. Tonight we have an amazing guest, and it's going to be exciting for our conversation. Happy to have her here. She is a woman who has found her power. She is shining in gold. She is a quirky with curly hair. She's human resources expert. She's worked with some of the biggest brands and organizations, enriching talent, as I've said, and maintaining retention. She's persistent, high level, and a captivating speaker. She's very little known part of her story, so she's making that known to the world. We're going to welcome her to our chat, and we're going to bring awareness to issues tonight of bullying, alternative education, parental conflict and abandonment, and self-acceptance. So we're going to go ahead and welcome today to the show my beautiful friend, Gehan.
Hello.
Hi,
Hey.
Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh my gosh. So beyond psyched to be here. Yes, we're here. We're doing this. I can't believe it.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm been waiting. We've had this for a while planned, so it's really an honor to have you, and just getting to know you and just know what you're about, your mission, everything that you bring to the table, and how you continue to encourage and empower others to find opportunities is truly just it makes me so happy to be part of your circle, your network, and be connected to you.
Thank you. Well, likewise. And I know this is just so surreal. We have been talking about it. It came up months ago. I just want to start off, if I may. I need to give you my beautiful, stunning Silver Fox Talks friend, DJ. Many, many props and many, many congratulations on your show and your involvement and everything that you've done in the past few months since we first connected. And I'm sure you'll probably get into that a little bit, but I just want to say straight up, I could not be more stunned, amazed, and beyond proud of you and blessed to know you. So it makes me so happy just to be here and witness it. So I just want to start off right with that. So
Thank you. Your heart is just so genuine and so authentic. And I couldn't be, again, luckier to have met you, right? I mean, it seems like our friendship just evolved so quickly, and we've been able to just share so many personal experiences, but your story really has so much value in it. And it's not anything that we really dug deep into, but you were at least enough to feel confident with me and share with me. And now we've made it this far where you feel comfortable enough to share. So I cannot wait to get into that. A little bit about your background and how you've become this amazing expert and just this glowing, golden, just ray of energy and light, and just helping people along the way. I mean, even throughout your own trials and tribulations, you continue to just persevere.
Whew, that's a lot, my dear. Yeah, oh my gosh. So there's so much I don't even really know where to begin. But I mean, part of how should I get into the whole how we even came connected and why it's so significant? I can kind of share that.
Yeah, let's start
And
there. Let's start there.
okay, so to backtrack a few months ago with the XXO Connect-a-thon, LinkedIn's first ever 24-hour live, very long story short, you and I just happened to connect at the tail end of it with Jason Leibowitz and Chantel and Gabriel and the whole cast of characters. And
Yes.
you and I both were sitting in our separate spaces. We'd never connected. We'd never had anything to do with each other before, but you'd been online, I guess, for the few hours prior. I'd been online maybe for an hour or so. And all of a sudden, Gabe came along and said, okay, ladies, just get on camera. Let's do this for the last hour. And I remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I remember distinctly, like, I know how I was feeling, and I can share that in a second, but I remember you, and you were just so freaked out. And you were just like, oh my God, it's my first time. And I think that's part of why, when I really seriously think about that moment to where you are now, that transformation is just crazy. But for me, what was so quirky about that moment was I didn't expect it. And under normal circumstances, I think most people would say, I don't know, I don't think so, shy away from it. For some reason, I was just like, okay, but I was not ready to go at the time. I was not camera ready. So I'm like, give me 2 minutes. Let me go throw something on. And bam, we went on camera. We sat it out and we had so much fun in that last hour. And I think that was just the start of the connecting and kind of dealing with that, just getting on camera and live. And wow, what an achievement right there. I mean, that's big.
Absolutely.
And that is a part of why a lot of what happened last year resonated with me, because people don't want to get on camera. People are freaked out. I had this conversation again earlier with my very dear friend and mentor and video coach, Jillian Whitney. We were talking about this very thing about fear of camera. Again, it came up because someone else had a fear of cameras. So that's kind of the start of it. But it's because you and I we were just in that space, and we've since then managed to channel all of that and grow from it. So that's
absolutely. It's definitely been a lot of growth in such a short amount of time. Being able to accept changes and embrace changes and just kind of just absorb a lot of what's going on and positivity. It's really just welcoming growth, welcoming development, and allowing, understanding that it's okay, and fear's normal. For me, anxiety, I always talk about my anxiety, and overcoming that, even to be on camera, has been difficult. We're at week 8. I still shake. My leg shakes. I'm nervous, trying to cope, but we know that there's a greater purpose. We know that there is something for many of other individuals to be able to hopefully take away from the information we're able to share, the experiences that we are talking about, and letting other people know and find comfort in our words and in our conversations, through our own experiences. Your experience is what we're here to share tonight. So, it's really, I find it so important, and I find it empowering as in my private work, my personal work, we have these conversations, and people feel so alone. So talking about it just really brings awareness, and it helps break those stigmas and that fear as well.
Do you find that in giving them that support that helps them? Do you feel, it's got to feel incredible, like just knowing the value that you bring in those situations.
I don't know. For me, it's just something I've always done, working in social services, working with individuals with disabilities, mental health issues, just to continue to find their way of moving forward through all the barriers, everything that society throws, all those, like we talked about, the stigmas, the judgment, the bureaucratic red tape that's out there.
Yeah.
So, but at least this is something that I've been able to find that I can do to help others, and it doesn't really take that much. I mean, it takes a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's for such a greater purpose. It's such for a greater need that it's really nothing to me. And it's something that I really enjoy doing. So these stories are so valuable to me. So let's get to your story, girl. I feel like I know we're going to get to your story. So, but before we go, I mean, before we start, I feel like I've ignored the chat, right? Like Tim's here. I feel like he paid Veronica. That's funny. I showed some of these like chats earlier. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. He says, Jackie, such a dear friend. Thank you, Jackie, for being here. Yes. Let's see, Kenneth, KDJ, he's always in the comments and always showing his love. And of course, XXO, Jason, I assume that's you, right? That's Jason. Gotta be.
His ears were burning.
Yeah, and Nick. Welcome, Nick. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your support. Good evening to you. And then everyone, what's on the menu you savor for tonight? Yes, everyone likes to talk about dinner. Since our show's at dinner time around here in the USA, but that's okay. I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone that's watching, and I'm sure more will come in through. Normally that's just the way it goes. Everyone comes in, says hello, catches a little bit of the conversation. It's really nice. It's really an honor to have such support.
We've got a really cool fan base though. And if I can just say something else really quick about you, the one thing that I really appreciate about your show is what you do. And to touch on what you were just sharing earlier is that you're telling stories and what you're doing is making a difference. It's for a greater good. And I applaud you because not everybody is in it that way. They're in it for a reason, but that's not necessarily the why. You know what I mean? And that's another hugely respectable thing about you, my dear. I just saying, you brought it up, you mentioned it, and I wanted to go with that. So yes. So what would you like to know?
I don't know. I got Mary made it. Hi, Mary. Thank you for stopping by. Mary's support is so appreciated. I mean, I know we have so much to cover. We have a lot of ground to cover, so we need to get to it. I want to ask the chat if you guys, there I am with the guys. If anybody or anyone, self-correcting here, let me know if captions are working on Twitch, and then let me know if you can hear the music, because I always want to work on production value. So I appreciate everyone that's out there that can give me a little bit of feedback on that.
I'm seeing lots of dinner chat. So the dinner chat sounds pretty gosh darn good. I had burgers tonight too. So
burgers. What's for dinner? Yeah, I usually ask them what's for dinner. What are you doing while you're listening? I like to kind of know. I haven't even eaten. I think I had a liquid dinner. We'll call it that.
Yeah.
But quiche. Oh, that's a good one, Jackie. That's fancy. Doesn't that take like technical skill? Nick, you're a chef. He would know. Nick's like pizza and salad. That works too. No captions. Here we go. I appreciate that. Let's try again. No captions on YouTube. Oh, Miss Fran. He, she, they. Not trying to create any biases. No captions. Hopefully the live stream will pick up some captions. We definitely want to see that. Jack, she says not yet. Okay. Hopefully they'll pick up. I don't know. It's frozen. Thank you for the feedback. I do appreciate it. I just wanted to know.
I love that you're so conscious about it, though. You're very conscientious about the captions.
Yeah, I do. It's important to me, and I really hope that StreamYard, love you StreamYard, that they really incorporate that into their platform, and that's easy, and then they can change translation like languages. it would really have language based where you can be Spanish or Russian, Mandarin, whatever preferred language. So it would be really nice. It could be my phone. No, it's me. I know it's my closed captions recorder for my Twitch, but I wanted to know. Maybe it'll correct here in the next one. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Mary, thank you, sitting in my favorite chair listening. I hear a little music, but also some feedback. Okay, I appreciate that. Little feedback, but little music. Okay, let's see. All right, we need to start getting into the real, good old discussion, my dear. You ready?
Okay, bring it.
I want to know more about you and that story that you're ready to share. That piece of you that's like, this is just part of my background, part of my history. And now, here I am.
So, yes. And what's interesting is everyone has, let me back up. Not everyone. Many, many, many people have their something, right? And many, many, many times people don't want to share. Maybe it's they don't want to do video, or maybe they don't feel that what they may have to share is value added, or, what are people going to think? And it goes back to the fear, and it goes back to all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, 2020 was a year, if there could, I would say 2020 was inaction for the most part. 2020 for me is action, or 2021 is action. 2020 was inaction. So it took a lot for me over the course of several months to get kind of moving and grooving, if you will, to where now I'm like, okay, I'm finding my new norm. Part of it was spending the greater part of last year in different conversations and different, platforms, whether they were mental health or maybe they were just casual conversations or, very specific. And a lot of it came back to mental health and people's morale. And obviously 2020, I mean, what can we say about it? You know what I mean? There's not much more to say that hasn't been said.
Right.
So with that though, I think it brought up a lot of underlying things for different people, just from what I could tell. And maybe I know for me personally, just in hearing stories and even on your show and other shows of, our friends and things that people want to share and have shared, I can say that my situation pales in comparison when you look at it from a different lens, pales in comparison to what other people have gone through. Like, I can't say I came from, the starved home or the abusive parents or, the stuff like that. But for me, when I was younger, I didn't have a very, I don't want to say positive home life, but my childhood was My childhood was a little bit rocky for various reasons. Sure. Divorced parents, whatever. But with that came other things that were going on with me as a kid. And I experienced a tremendous amount of bullying, but it wasn't just your occasional, okay, someone slapped books out of my hands or whatever. And I could not tell you to this day a ton of specifics. I can tell you it went on for years, and it just went on and on and on in different shapes and sizes and whatever you want. And it took a toll on me to where by the time I was about 16, I mean, when you come home from school every single day crying and you have, a mother who you're already not having I don't want to say the greatest relationship with, but all she's doing is seeing her daughter just not depressed, but down every single day. Yeah. I can't imagine to this day what that must have been like for my mother to see me that way. And she knew what was going on. I was bullied and I felt very isolated and alone, and it was not good. And I made the decision, and mind you, this was 1993. So there was no, hey, let's hang out all day and play video games on the internet and that type of thing. Drop out of school and just do something different. I decided I had no other course of action because I was getting sick. I thought, I can't handle this. It is time for me to distance myself. And I was 16, legally able to drop out of school, and I did. And so on my 16th birthday, fell on midwinter break, I just went poof, gone. And so a week passed or so, and then everyone went back to school and I wasn't there. So where was I? I was sort of finding my way behind the scenes, but I was very, very lucky. So I actually ended up going a few weeks later back to school. I tried it again for a few days. I thought, I can't do this. So I took the rest of the semester and summer off. in that time, I just grew up a little bit, I guess, if you will, and decided
Yeah.
to better myself physically. And I worked into alternative courses, and good things came of it. So I didn't just go down another
Yeah.
path.
I love alternative education. There's really a lot of value in that. So I really
And
do.
and I agree with you 1,000% on that. Back then, I don't think
Oh,
that path was right for me. It was very different from what it is today. You know what I mean? From what it is
absolutely.
today.
So different. Yeah.
So in that case, I mean, in that respect, it's not in any way to say that that was wrong for me or the bad thing. It just wasn't the right
No.
path for me long term. So I went back to school
Sure.
ultimately, and I graduated and went on with my life.
Sure.
But some of that deep rooted sense of not being enough and not being valuable and not feeling loved and wanted, it stayed with me, and it impacted decisions I made after high school. It impacted, different career moves I made and what have you. But ultimately, again, at the end of the day, it all came out into a good place to where I am today, and I'm fine from it. I didn't go through any serious therapy or
Yeah.
anything to that degree. I'm okay. But what happened was when I lost my job last year, and again, I thought it was just another job transition, I spent a ton more time on LinkedIn and on these social media platforms and seeing and hearing all of these conversations. And some of them had worse fates than mine. And it started to sort of build up all of this pent up, I don't know, just this angst, I guess, that I'd had,
Yeah.
and this emotional toll that, I had at the time.
Mhm.
And so that's why doing video was not easy and fun for me. Why? Because I
Yeah.
was afraid of what people were going to say. Um,
Yes.
Several different things. So
Oh, yeah. I share a lot of those same fears.
and then ultimately, I moved through some of that because I decided, honestly, last year was just such a year of inaction, and also just almost being in a state of just numb. Like, what do we do from here? And I had a lot of loss personally too,
Mhm.
on a separate story, but last year was numb for me. It wasn't until the past, few months and greater part of last year that things started to shine again. And, came out of it, started doing videos, started networking, met Gabe. I just saw Gabe pop up. There he
Yes, you
is.
popped in.
His ears were
Yes.
burning and he had to be here. No, but again,
Hi,
because
Gabe.
all of that, I was able to shift my thinking into knowing I was not alone out there. There were a lot of other people for a ton of different reasons going
Mhm.
through similar things. So that, my dear, is my story in a nutshell, and that is the first time I've aired it that way. Woo! That's the thing. I'm going to get better as I go on, more succinct.
Yes.
But that is my story. And the reason why I chose now to share it is because longer term, I want to see what I can do with it.
Mhm.
I want to be able to speak. I want to empower people to not feel alone. I want to tell people you're okay. You are enough. Do a freaking video. We're not going to hate you. We're
Right.
going to have
Yes.
cheerleaders out there. That's my message to people, is to not
Mhm.
feel alone, because there is always someone else going through something similar.
Yes, I agree. There's so many other people being impacted in similar ways, and we need to stay connected and let individuals know that we're here going through similar feelings, similar situations, similar mayhem, similar experiences. So let's see. Hi Cole. Do you know?
Cole is here.
Hi.
Do you know Cole?
Welcome. I do not know. So
You're going to know
welcome.
Cole now. He will be one of your biggest cheerleaders.
Thank
And
you,
Cole's
Cole.
awesome. Oh my God.
This is
Oh, Jillian Whitney's
fantastic.
here. That's Jillian Whitney, my video coach. Jillian,
Jillian, hi. She's
about you.
Jillian, I have something for you. Let me show you something that you inspired me to do. What is that? What is that? A QR code. I did a QR code because of one of your videos.
That's awesome.
I wish I could catch her more often. She's awesome. Yes, for sure.
She's my hero. I would not
Juana's
be here without
here.
some people, and she is one of them. So yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Juana. Jillian is awesome. And can't thank Gabe enough. He's been one of those that has just saw something and he said, go, just keep going. Don't stop. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, I'm sure.
Gabe's right.
Yeah.
Gabe's right. And again, like I was saying earlier, your ability to transform, you're exactly what we need to see. Honest to God, like you are exactly what you represent. Women, you represent strong women overcoming challenges, and you're stunning. But the best part is you've got a good heart. You've got a good heart. You've got great intentions and great instincts, and you're rolling with it and you're rocking it all the way. I'm just, I say,
trying. We're trying. I'm trying. Hey, welcome. Hi, Charlie. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. It's really nice. Yeah, it's amazing to be here and be surrounded and just find so much comfort in friends and just knowing that everything is okay and I'm doing it for the right reasons. It's really empowering, and celebrating International Women's Day, everything that we've been through and we've had to come up against and history, and just to be able to be here and live stream and share our stories as women, empower other women to continue to move forward with their stories. Find love, find light, fight comfort, reach out, don't be scared, you're not alone. Let me keep going.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Actually, I just thought of something. So speaking of Cole and something that you brought up earlier, the hashtag, what was the hashtag? The challenge,
yeah, let's bring that up. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, I want to say that was Cole. And Cole, if you're seeing this in the comments, I want to say that was his post. I want to say that earlier that maybe that's where I saw it. But I saw something like that at one point today, and it was awesome, but I didn't choose to challenge. That's it.
Choose the challenge. We raise our hand. We're standing up.
Love it.
That's the campaign that internationalwomensday.com really is for the message this year for hashtag IWD 2021. So we're choosing to challenge gender biases and inequality. We can celebrate women, femmes, and non-binary achievements. And we want to just collectively be here to help create a more inclusive world, which kind of goes along with what I want to do. I'm here for individuals as they are. They don't have to, I don't want anyone that approaches me to feel like they need to feel shame for their story or whatever part of them that they feel shameful for. Shame, guilt is just one of those ugly emotions that is just vicious. And I've lived way too long in that. And I want to also encourage other people not to live in that as well. It hurts. It brings so much pain. But sorry, that's just me.
No, I hear you and I feel you. And
those feelings, those insidious feelings that just eat you alive. So it's about moving forward.
Amen.
Yes, finding empowerment and all that. Like, no reason to feel shame for being bullied, for being, for dropping out, but finding a way to persevere.
Well, what's interesting is someone brought up in a comment after I posted a couple weeks ago that, okay, well, wait, so big deal, you dropped out of high school. It wasn't so much that, because yes, I went on, I think the person made a point like, oh, you got a bachelor's degree. I said, well, technically I got a master's degree too. But I mean, that's not the point. That wasn't the point. Going back to the shame comment though, that is exactly how I felt. So, and thank you, because that also ate away at me at the time. So while I knew what I was doing was right, I also knew I shamed my dad. I knew it. My dad was actually very, ironically enough, my dad who passed away last year. In my adult life, my dad and I, oh, thank you. Yeah, Omar was, yeah, the larger than life. Yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, 2020 was a bad year for many reasons. But yeah, my dad was one of those larger than life characters. But when I did drop out of high school, it wasn't something that he understood, and he wasn't meant to. Whereas my mother at the time was very supportive. So flip that around a few years later, my dad became my biggest champion, and my mother and I, without going into specifics, not so much in my later years. So to this day, I miss my I miss my dad every day. So yeah, it's just one of those things. But going back to the shame part, it's like when you feel so you feel that what other people are saying about you is the truth, and you live in that for so long, it's hard to get out of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Okay. I'm like, which way do we go? Okay, so first I want to touch on what you just said about, oh God, what did you just say? My mind just went in
no.
million.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No, I was just talking about shame and the dad
Yeah.
thing. No. In the dad
I'm a
thing.
dad's girl, right? I was
No,
gonna
let's
take
wrap
this
it
in
up.
that direction. Daddy's girl. I'm a dad's girl. I was raised by my dad. This is where we share similar with abandonment issues, lack of a parental figure that's been really difficult for us as women in International Women's Day, and not really having that strong mother figure to guide us, to show us how to be quote unquote right. Um, so there's a lot to unpack there. Where's Reggie? Because he always calls it. There's a lot. Let's unpack this. Somebody shout out Reggie. I just thought of him watching him on Carl. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. It's just not having that womanly, strong mother figure to guide you through like decision making in those very important times in your life, whether you're a young woman or going into personal female issues,
Oh my God.
teenage, adolescence, being a young adult, transitioning, just so many things. And I know we share that. So we're daddy's girls. I think
We
about
really
getting
are.
a tattoo at some point with a daddy's girl tattoo. But yeah, I know we share that has created a big void. Just not having that, it really brings you to feel inadequate in a lot of ways.
Can I tell you, I was in a clubhouse room today. Love clubhouse. But we were celebrating at one point, we were talking about International Women's Day, of course, and
Yes.
people started talking about their mothers and the posts on mothers. And I was sitting here, and of course, thank God it's not visual, it's just all audio, right? Because I must have looked how I felt, which was just sad. I'm like, all of these people had these beautiful, like, oh my God, my mother and my grandmother. And I don't have any of that to share. Like Mother's Day, no.
Oh, me
International
too.
Women's Day for me, though, I will tell you this. And if you look, I did a post today. The post was because, I mean, again, there's too many. I try not to get crazy with tags, right? I mean, I'm glad I was able to celebrate you. We had a very specific reason to be here. And I'm beyond honored. You deserve that shout out anyway. Honestly. But the
Yeah.
4 people I acknowledged were 4 amazing coaches, all of them women, and they're 4 people that I've worked with in the past several months, including Jillian Whitney, who I know is here, Anna Morgan, Chantel,
Chantel, amazing, powerful, beautiful women.
and then another friend and strengths coach I've had for years. Her name is Jo Self. But 4 women, and I thought, I love these women. I love the women on LinkedIn that I'm connected to, and that was what prompted me to do my post today. Just like, thank you, women, and thank you, women, for being the women who build up other women and help other women shine the way you, DJ, allow other people to shine. And that's a gift.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to raise that fist up. It's really, I mean, right now, today we're celebrating. There's always so much life out there to celebrate, so many experiences, diversity out there. So, you know, it's just truly an honor to be able to do that for individuals, to be able to share those experiences that really imprint us to be who we are today, and how we interact and how we communicate and how we continue to move forward, and we continue to lead our lives and create those ultimate values that we have. You can't really hide those. You are who you are, and most people, I like to think, you know, I like to surround myself with people who have intellectually and emotionally can really value another person and see on a deeper level who they are. And to me, that's important to have those connections, and surround myself with people like that. I feel like I keep ignoring the chat, but I appreciate everyone in the chat. I know that everyone's sharing, referring Brene Brown. I have a Brene Brown book right here. That was actually my
Dare to Lead.
Endearing. I don't know. It's somewhere around here. Sorry, but I do have a Brene Brown book. But it's really nice to see our friends read Dare to Lead. That's another great one. Yes, another Brene Brown. She seems to come up a lot in the conversations for empowerment and inspiration and just overcoming a lot of adversity and all our own vulnerabilities. So, and you've done that. I've done that. We've shared that.
And you know the word that keeps popping up, and I honestly, it's amazing how many times in a given day it pops up. Authenticity.
Right.
Authenticity. And you know, that is truly what it's about. And that's the other big lesson of last year, just being raw and real. I mean, who are you? And that's why, and I know we touched on it briefly, but that's why I'm a very, very big fan of Clifton Strengths, because it literally does allow you to bring out your best self versus focusing on your weaknesses and being something you're not. And I'm a huge, huge fan of that assessment and that tool, and just taking that knowledge and understanding and that, you know, awareness and running with it versus being stuck on things that, you know, that keep you down. And I mean, we already hate on ourselves enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
this is a very common thing I touch on every week, is that self, you know.
So
yeah, I hear you. Everyone's really has a lot of great comments. Brene Brown has some great books, very popular, so she really does. So yes, and I'm reading one. I've been encouraged to read one. I really haven't in the past. And it's a shame, right? Oh, I'm so busy, but I'm carving the time to do those things that you need to do for your self growth, self healing, self empowerment, to be able to move forward. Because then you're not going to be any good. You're not going to be any good to anybody if you don't take care of yourself. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by, Charlie. Have a great night. Jackie, if you have, I don't know which one's your fave. Yes. So they're talking about the books because there's so many and really fantastic. With all the information and her TED Talks. I think I've watched more of her TED Talks than I think read books, but I'm starting to read more. Like I said, carve that time out.
I'm trying to get more into audiobooks. But I will tell you, Clubhouse derailed me, because what I've been bad at is getting on it in the morning when I know you probably shouldn't, but I'll pop in and listen. I don't even need to get on a stage and speak and wah, 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 wah. I just want to listen. And so I know I should probably go back to that audiobook thing though, but.
Oh, look at Gabe. Okay, enough about her. I want to focus on you ladies doing vulnerable. Okay, fine.
Gabe. I just spilled my guts.
Yeah, I know. And the time goes by so fast, but I know we wanted to touch a little bit about G's story with bullying and the same insecurities we share. Those has a lot to do with our vulnerabilities, and even being able to get the camera on and sit here for an hour and be open to talk about these conversations. Yeah. So, Fran has a question about the assessment name.
It's Clifton Strengths. Here. Look what I happen to have next to me. Go find this book on Gallup.com, Strengths Finder. It's Tom Rath, but anyway, Clifton Strengths. It's a 40-minute.
Okay.
Get it?
I got it in the chat. Let me see if I can drop it in the chat. Gallup.com, Clifton Strengths. But there you go. Hopefully that'll shoot out to the comments. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll continue, ladies, to being vulnerable. Right now, it's hard to have these conversations. Honestly, personally, I think so. You have to be able to actively listen and share. Be present and understand and be sympathetic, empathetic to others and others. So it's hard to be out here and make ourselves vulnerable, I think.
You know, I don't know what it is, and maybe it's the more I think about doing it. And again, DJ, months ago, I mean, literally months ago, when I first knew you were considering a podcast, and at some point, you might want to bring me on board. Whatever. What am I going to talk about? I never thought I really, honestly, in the back of my mind, I did not know that we would get to this point. What I'm starting to understand though is that I needed to move the needle to do something, because just having this simmering, it was just getting old for me. And the fact that people have been paying attention though, if I can tell you honestly, after I did my post recently on LinkedIn, because again, there's never a very, I mean, it was strategic for me. I just didn't want to dump a lot out at once and say, you know,
Oh, right.
so there's a tasteful way to share things, right? And I like to think and hope that the way I did so, people understood it. Maybe they didn't understand the whole enormity of it, but if you want to laugh, and I'm sharing this for a reason really quick because of the feedback that I received. But
Yeah.
here's the deal. So go with me on the timeline on this, right? So January of 1993, I turned 16, right? And then on my 16th birthday, I dropped out of high school. I didn't go back until September. What do you think in the back of your mind happened during that 9 months? Honestly, I think that's where people's heads were going, and I had to quickly kibosh that because that wasn't it was literally that, a timeline. And I shared that on Facebook recently with people because my Facebook group is much smaller actually. I only have close friends and family, and that's by design. That's another story, but like it's very, very limited. But there were people who didn't even know about this. So I shared that on Facebook, but the way I put it, and it was a lot quicker than just going out and doing a video and all that again. But I shared it and I thought, oh, I don't think that was clear. So I had to go back and clarify. So I'm like, sorry, folks, this is exactly that. So no, I was not pregnant. I dropped out because I just was sick and I was bullied and it was just not a good situation. And there were other things too.
Yeah.
But what was so funny was, as I'm starting to share, people are starting to get and understand it. And people have been very supportive, which is really cool. And it's
Awesome.
encouraged people and empowered them to say, gee, and they've reached out, not in comments, but they've said,
Oh,
gee, not even so much, not true. Let me back up. They've reached out in comments somewhat, but other people were pinging me offline to tell me exactly what they thought about it. And it was hugely powerful in a good way. It wasn't people bashing me. People are probably bashing me behind the scenes and thinking, why are you bringing this up now? Well, there's a longer term goal for that. There's a reason for it.
right.
You know what I mean? But the fact that I've impacted people and that they're paying attention and that they're saying, hey, maybe now this allows me, the privilege and the freedom to maybe speak up myself. If I did that, then I did my job.
Yeah, I think it's really powerful. Something, okay, so gosh, there's again, I want to talk about youth and adolescence, that transition period. That's really an important part we all share. It's just, can always go relate, the high school and back to high school, and then that transitioning going into adulthood. I know for us, I think that's got to be one of those like crucial intersections in our lives where it was really telling. Like for me, it was like, what do? I joined the military. That was my answer. That's what I could come up with. It's going to help me get to college, pursue a degree in psychology, and hopefully be a therapist or help somebody through their struggles. It's going to help me learn some of the values that I lacked without having a really strong mother figure. Trying to find a way to fill some of those voids that maybe I couldn't get from my family, right? And I know I do a women's cohort, a women's veterans leadership, and these are just a lot of similar stories. A lot of women that are trying to get out from these situations and trying to find strength, find ways to become more capable and find their skill sets to continue to move forward and persevere and overcome all the challenges that they've thus far had no control over. Really, we're all children in those situations when we look back. And those are things that we can't control, that we don't have any honest, idea like to control. So we try to find ways. And then we absorb the impact and we internalize a lot of that. And it's really hard. But for me personally, and I think for you, it's just trying to find a way to express that we are good enough, that we are powerful enough, that we are whole just the way we are, and we are not broken by any means. To think that we were broken because of this, that, or the other is the furthest thing from the truth. And I've come to find that out now, is that I'm whole and I'm perfect and I'm fine just the way I am. And I want others to feel the same, regardless of any stigmatizing or judging type of social pressures, which is very, like, some of the worst when the media is really where you're feeling unworthy because of what you see through social media, and we have to continue to battle that.
I have to tell you, I hear you 1,000%, and I have to say honestly, that's a large part of why. Well, I shouldn't say a large part of why I never had kids, but the fact that when I look back, and I did not have kids of my own, I have two grown stepsons. I could not imagine what kids today, and I think this is where I get really emotional, just when kids are growing up now with so many different pressures and all of this. I think that's a large part of what's really just resonating for me is
Oh yeah.
forget what I went through in 1993, but now kids are going through it and it's all in
Now,
your
right.
face and it's
Yeah.
everywhere and it's just, and so you take all of the stuff that you just mentioned, but then you throw on top of it the issues of today, and it's just
Today.
it's crazy,
That's a
and when
lot.
you say things like, we are enough, and the fact that you have adjusted into the person you are, and you shine. I mean, you're truly, I mean, this is just, again, this is my outside view, because I mean, I know we're friends and everything, but I don't know you too well. I
Mhm.
don't know you really at the core of what makes your soul sing and where
Sure.
that deep rooted hurt maybe from many years ago is. But all I
Sure.
see is whatever you went through, you've evolved into this incredible person. I mean, again, doing the work that you're doing to help other people get to where they need to go is just, not everybody does that. So it takes a strong person.
Thank you. I feel you do a lot of that. You're such an inspiration to so many. And working in HR and what you do in that field to keep people employed and really learning probably skills that they weren't taught. Doing a lot of the work that is, I understand that sometimes you're just more than just HR. You wear many hats.
HR gets a bad rap sometimes, but no,
Yeah.
there's many
Um,
different, because there's facets to it. I'm sorry. Go
Thank you.
ahead.
But I know now you're doing like new things. Now you're into new and you're evolving in your own way and you're growing and you're developing. And 2020 really, I think, was a cleansing almost for you.
For a lot of people, that's the one. And again, it goes back to how we're not alone in this. There are so many people. And I think that's why, 2020 was definitely a wake up call for a lot of us. And you know how
Yeah.
we've always said in life, oh, yeah, life's too short, blah, blah, blah. 2020 just threw that in our face. And like, it just, I mean, literally, that's
Yeah.
what 2020 did. So yeah, if it wasn't too short before, let's look at it now, a little
Yeah.
deeper on that. So.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's we've been through a lot. Oh gosh, the time goes by so fast. I'm looking at the clock. We're going almost into an hour. I don't know if you can see how long we've been going for. So we're at
Yes, is
50
this
minutes.
good? I hope this is good.
And no, it's fantastic. I'm having a great conversation. I really think that we're having a lot of talking about things that need to be talked about. That, for me, it is. And I want to make sure that you're sharing what you feel is important to your story and important to your message, and that what you want to be, understood, and you want people to really like try to change like their understanding of like. So is there anything that really you want to continue to share, that you're a message that you're really passionate about, that you feel really needs people to pay attention? Anything that's near and dear to your heart?
Yes. People, it is so simple. Just be kind. Hashtag kind club. Shelly Elslager on LinkedIn. If you're not familiar with the hashtag decide to be kind club with the wristbands and all
Mm-hmm.
that. I mean, I am telling you, there's so much more effort made to bring hate no matter what it is, cyberbullying, physical bullying, whatever the case may be, there's just so much more effort made than to just simply be a decent human being.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything, I hate to say it, it's like the old adage, if you have nothing nice to say, just shut up, don't say anything. I hate to say it that way, but it's actually very true. I'll give you an example. I mean, today I posed a question on Nextdoor, a legitimate question. I was just asking something. And someone went out of their way to send me a very snarky message. And I'm like, did you really take the time to send this? And I looked at it, and part of me wanted to engage and get really, really snarky because I'm good at snark. I'm the person who will tell people to go to hell and have them asking, like, oh, wait, can I have directions, please? Like, I'm that person. But I didn't engage. But why take the time? Like, if you don't want to be decent,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So that's my message. I mean, it's a very simple one, but a little common decency, a little bit of courtesy. It just, you don't like the person, go away. The lurkers and all the other
Yeah.
stuff that goes on. I know it can be psychologically damaging just from the comments and the posts I read and just the conversations that
Yeah.
people have. It's really unfortunate. So I'm not here on a crusade to say stop bullying. I can't. I would love for that to happen. But as part of my message going forward, that is something that I really do want to focus on in saying, in helping, move that needle in the direction to wherever it needs to land, to try to make those adjustments. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
I
that's
share a
my
lot of that. Yeah, and bullying. I know a lot. I've had that conversation with so many, and it's really important, and it's emotionally like leaves scars. It really does, and it's really important to be kind. And I always share that on my show about how important it is to be empathetic, compassionate. I love to encourage individuals to just be compassionate. You don't know what the person next to you is going through, or the guest. Last week was a really powerful example for me to have Jenny. She sits and she presents so well, and she's so funny, and she's so warm, and she's so fantastic. But it just for her to get up out of her seat off camera to move 20 feet is a lot more difficult, and we should be so grateful for our ability to move so easily. So being compassionate and sharing that really is important for each and everyone, because you don't know how difficult it could be. I advocate again for disabilities. I know that a lot of communication happens through audio, video, and just being caring and careful about how you communicate, and being understanding that other people communicate in different ways, and not everyone communicates like you, and we all have a message to share. We just need to listen. I love Daniel Hall's like listening with more than just your ears will always resonate with my heart.
Yeah, whew, man, you know what? I agree. Again, it's tough. I think because people get so wrapped up in what's going on, sometimes they lose sight of like the little things that can be so
Yeah.
meaningful. And yeah, Daniel Hall's another one. Just yeah.
Right. So you just never know. But just that little kindness, that little bit of compassion, and just taking up breath before you bleh, vent, or just go in for the jugular. It's not necessary. We live in times where it's just really not necessary, and just kindness goes a long way.
See, but you know what though? Not everyone has that level of self-awareness and that
Oh, right.
filter, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes we just have to, to a certain degree, take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, in the back of our minds, wishing that the world was a better place. But
Sure.
like I said, I mean, when people like you keep fighting the good fight though for the right reasons, I
Yeah.
mean,
And also helping educate others with
yeah,
those skill sets. They may have never been taught that. They may have never been exposed to that, or said this is a better way to communicate that. So you just lead by example.
absolutely.
I know you do it a lot. You've done it for a long professional career. You continue to do it now. Oh gosh, I keep looking at the clock and I don't want this conversation to end. I feel like now pressure's on to start wrapping it up.
Oh my gosh. So what can I leave you with?
I don't know, G. You've been fantastic. Yes.
Oh,
Okay, let
I
me get
hope
back to
so.
Gabe. Thank you, Gabe. We appreciate your support.
Oh, Gabe, thank you.
Thank
No,
you.
you've got an amazing fan club here, honestly. And
Yeah.
I just kind of, yeah, yes, kindness is cool. Smiles are free.
Yes, Russ John's a wonderful advocate for those same messages. So I think that's why we all just continue to stay connected and we continue to support each other, because we have those same yearnings in our heart for the greater good.
We're gonna make it change.
I know. Okay, so did we cover some of those serious issues? You feel like we've had a really good conversation. Is there any final words, any final things that maybe we didn't get to touch on that you'd like to share?
You know what? I'm just grateful to have had the opportunity to share that
Yeah.
that's the why. So people are probably again wondering, well, why would you bring it up now? It's because there's a longer term goal with it. And I'm trying to get other people to understand that it's okay to share your messages too. And again, like I was saying before, I like to think that based on some of the feedback, it helped people, when you get things again, either in comments or offline saying things like, hey, you have no idea, G, what that meant to me. And I needed that. And oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, because they're in a place where they needed to hear whatever it was I had to say in that moment. So if I did that, like I said before, I've done my job and I'm thrilled. So you giving me this platform, my word for 2021.
Jenny did this to me last week, so I guess.
Oh my gosh, Gabe.
Gabe's,
Oh,
that's a
gosh.
good question.
Well, someone gave me a word. They said courage. I don't know. I don't know. I started out the year with actually the word, two words. One of them was embolden, or basically another way to say empower, because I really want to get that out there. But then another word was to sriracha, like basically to
Your sriracha sauce.
exactly, like
Yes.
essentially, move your flavor. People either love you, hate you,
I
or
love
good
that.
enough to, acquire the taste. So, how about you?
Me, my word for mine
Yeah.
was I shared last week, my word was strength for this year. Just gaining strength, maintaining strength in what I'm doing and who I am, and not losing how far I've come. Because it's easy to fall back when things start to get busy and you have more interactions with different people, good, bad, negative, positive, mid-range, in between, subjective, all those communications. So the more contact, the more communication that continues throughout the year, I want to stay strong and I want to stay true to that core.
Love it. And again, I mean, it's already March. You've done a top-notch job. I don't see you slowing down and stopping by any stretch. So I'm proud of you. I've said it. I said it early on. Honest to God, I have nothing but the utmost respect for you and what you're doing and what you're sharing with the masses. I do this.
You you too. You're out there, you're providing, you're offering, you're empowering, you're inspiring. So this is not about me, my dear. This is about you.
Well, thank you. And again, I'm beyond honored to be here, and just you giving me this platform to sort of launch from here and see
Mhm.
where things go. And again, if someone's
Yeah.
hearing any of this and saying, "Hey, wow, G spoke up and G
Yeah.
actually had something somewhat intelligible to say," I'm happy.
I
So,
think one final thing that I would want individuals to take away from this conversation is, if you have a child that's not really like all about school right now, be supportive, talk to them, have those conversations. Don't just jump down their throat and pressure them. You're supposed to graduate. You're supposed to go to college. Like, we have to work together. We have to give them tools and opportunities and options to empower them to make those choices, because there's always all that extra stuff that's going on that we don't really know inside a person. And again, with that compassion and kindness paired up with options and opportunity, I think it really provides a better intro, or it provides a better communication strategy to really help our youth that's going through those conversations in their head, going through those, like, what do I do? Should I drop out? I'm going through a lot. I don't know what to do, really just talking out to adolescents and youth as well, and transitioning into young adulthood. We don't want to lose that population. And I know that's a very quick, it's very, they get lost easily. It just seems once you turn 18, it's, oh, you're an adult. And really, that's such a huge transition period between 18 and 22, 23, 25. I mean, so I think it's important.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that's, especially nowadays. Again, yesterday I heard two really sad, I know this could be an entirely separate topic too, but I mean, just even yesterday I heard two really unfortunate stories about, kids, and especially during COVID and the isolation.
Yes.
and every now more than ever. I mean, forget the stuff from me in '93, but I mean, nowadays it's just so much more magnified. But anyway, I know are we out of time? We're out of time, aren't we?
Listen, this is my show, so we can go over it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But really, I really did want to bring a specific light to that point, and just encouraging parents out there to understand and to be more compassionate to children or other individuals that are young adults in their lives, that they could be a mentor to, that they could be someone that opens up the door for communication with another young person. We want to stop the hate. We want to show more love. And that's another option to show love, reaching out, listening to other younger people that may be going through their struggles. So there's lots out there. There's lots of, and for me, it's so important to share that and make that point tonight.
Love that you made it.
Well, I appreciate you, G. I hope I did you justice in tonight's conversation.
Oh my gosh. Again, this will get easier and more flow going forward. But I have to say, just even having this, because you did this for me. You allowed me this opportunity to come onto your show. I cannot ever thank you enough for that, because I feel going forward, as my message gets stronger and bolder and more confident with this topic,
your voice gets louder.
Oh yes, because things that I won't shut up about. But no, I just appreciate it, and so I'm just dazzled that I'm here with you, your amazing show, and your amazing heart. Thank you for having me.
All right, my dear. I appreciate you. Your time is valuable. We're going to go ahead and close it up. How does people connect with you? This is it. We're going to throw it up. Let me throw it. I know that I have it ready for everyone.
The call to
action. Your hashtag, your Clubhouse, your popular poppin' on Clubhouse.
Let's see. I live and breathe on LinkedIn. So you can look me up there with my crazy long name. It's Gehan Haridy. You can forget the Ardanowski part. At the back of it, I just simplified it.
That's fine. Yeah.
Also, I am on Clubhouse. G just saying, no G at the end of it. So G just saying. And then also hashtag follow on LinkedIn, the hashtag G just saying. I am not on Instagram, and I'm minimally on Facebook, but yeah, LinkedIn is definitely the way to go. Would love to connect. Just send me an invite if you do want to connect versus follow. Just remind me that you saw me on the show. Would love to hang out, chat, whatever. So thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
my dear. You have been fantastic, and I will let you go. I'm going to go ahead and send you to the back now. You're free to go. If you want to stay and hang out as I close up, that's fine. I can't thank you enough for today. And it's, again, an honor, something I've been waiting a really long time for.
So. I know. I'm very honored. Thank you. Bye, audience. Bye, gang.
All right. Did everyone say goodbye? Good evening. Thank you, Gabe. All right. Thank you, G. You're the best. Okay, wow, the end of the show has arrived. Thank you, everyone. If you have been watching my live stream show, I really do appreciate subscribing, following me on Twitch and Facebook, being here with us tonight for this conversation. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Don't forget to connect with G, also on LinkedIn. We are here to help, assist, and serve our communities for the greater good. She's fantastic. So I hope everyone has been having a great time and had a really good, took something away from today's conversation. It really is important to me. The show came up quick. The hour went by. We brought awareness. We had these important conversations. We're seeking, again, the greater good to advocate, break stigmas and those stereotypes. We're here to support mental health and disability, trauma, and those experiences that make us who we are. We're here to promote inclusion, offer support, and create more opportunities to promote healing and change. So, again, this show is really to help highlight often those silenced voices that need assistance and are on a mission to create a better good. So thank you so much. We want to bring awareness to these traumas, to normalize it, and just continue on the greater good. Next week, we're going to have an amazing guest. I'm really excited. She is on LinkedIn. She's a certified life coach. She's focused on empowerment, self-esteem, and helping others find their purpose. She's highly sensitive and empathetic. She has a story to share on toxic and abusive relationships. We're going to talk a little bit about codependency and how her professional and personal life, she's advocated for healing throughout. She has an amazing podcast called The Divine Breadcrumb, where she facilitates to create connections for people around the world to uplift, educate, and encourage people to grow and heal. Her name is Carol Campos, and I'm very excited to have her next week as we continue with Women's History Month. Friends, thank you so much for connecting, being here with me. Again, you can always reach out to me if anyone needs anything. I will try to connect you with resources and any other connections that you may need. It's always been a pleasure. Today's been powered by StreamYard. Thank you, StreamYard. I am appreciative. And all right, my wonderful human friends, thank you so much. You guys have been all fantastic. And I look forward to next week when we come with Carol. Everyone have a good night. Thank you.